Hello, Rivermen and SPHL fans. And as always, thank you for watching. Sorry if my voice isn't great. I'm just getting over an illness. I'm just getting over strep throat, actually. So, starting to feel a lot better. And luckily, I'm able to do a video because of it. But in this weekend matchup that carried on into Wednesday night, it's a pretty interesting series between Storm and Rivermen. Storm winning in Peoria in pretty dominant fashion, actually, 5-2, and then losing back-to-back games in Quad City, getting shut out in Game 2, losing 3-2 in Game 3. So, yeah, it was not the way I would have drawn it up, but that's hockey for you. You never know which way it's going to go. Like I said, I always know Storm is capable of beating the Rivermen and will beat the Rivermen in a few games. That's nothing new. It doesn't matter how they're playing or what their record is. You play a team enough, you're eventually going to beat them a few games. So, I thought Storm did a pretty good job in Peoria for the most part. I still felt they could have done better and could have made that gap even more wide during regulation. But, I mean, at the end of the day, Rivermen just did not have a quality game whatsoever, and we're lucky to get the goals that they did get to stay in it up until the third. But, you got to tip your cap to Storm on that one. Going into Game 2, just a great performance by Jack Bosted that stole the show. Had a 27-save shutout in Quad Cities versus the Storm. And Rivermen won 2-0. And I thought they looked definitely better than they did in Peoria. But, there were still some things that wasn't great with their game. Again, showing low effort at time and lack of execution. But I did see spurts of it and seen some good plays and seen them going in the right direction at least. And able to hold on for a win over the Storm, because the Storm really came out in the third period to try and get back in that game. And, Rivermen held them off and kept the shutout intact for Jack Bosted. And in Game 3, Wednesday, it was a pretty even contest, maybe the most even between the two teams. And they both came out with some mental mistakes in the first period for sure, and lacking a bit in execution in areas, turning the puck over. They both were doing that. So yeah, like I said, it was actually pretty even in that department, in my opinion, and kind of same with the second. Maybe even Storm started to kind of pull away from the Rivermen a bit. They end up taking a 2-1 lead heading into the third period against the Rivermen. And the Rivermen were looking like they were in trouble. Like they were getting ready to collapse in this Game 3 and, only win one of the 3 games. They did not come out looking strong in that third, really. But then we get a penalty that goes in our favor. And we ended up getting another power play goal to tie it. And then right after that, Michael McChesney with a high effort, high energy shift. Just wouldn't quit, wouldn't take no for an answer, with an unassisted game-winning goal that he just buries. And just a great display of leadership, great display of skill and not quitting. And I love Michael McChesney so much, the way he plays hockey, plays it with heart, skill, leadership, determination. Like he's the type of guy you need to have on your team for sure. You'd like to have a couple of those guys, but I am so thankful to have a Michael McChesney on my team that you can depend on in most situations. Like I said, Jack Boston again, I thought had a strong game. There was one goal, literally gave up one goal in both his starts that I thought, okay, maybe he could have made that save. You know, that first goal, glove side, that beat him from Seacoast. I thought maybe he could have got that one. But the second goal, that nobody was getting that. That was, he had no time to react. He was reacting to one location. It hit a skate, went right out to Stavoyich, and he rifled it right over him, and he didn't have really any time to react, so you can't really fault him on that. But, you know, Tino in his first game, he gave up 3 goals. And in the game 1 in Peoria, in that loss, and in back-to-back games, Boston only gives up 2 goals. Let's see here. On the weekend, Boston, I said it twice. Jack Bosted was 62 of 64. So he stopped 62 shots on 64 attempts. And then that game 3, he stopped 35 of 37. Like I said, so he had a 27 save shutout, stopped 35 of 37, 62 of 64 on the weekend. So again, another great effort by Boston, keeping us in both games and allowing Rivermen to get the win in those games when maybe they didn't have their best game with them. You need that from your goalies. Like when your forwards and defenders aren't having their typical game, it's good to have that guy at the backstop bailing you out, keeping you in the game. And that's exactly what Boston did, because all 3 of those games, the Rivermen were clearly not at their best. Not playing a full 60 minutes in either of the 3 matchups. But they found a way to get the win. And they found a way to get a shutout win in a game that wasn't their best. But not every game's going to be a 5-0 blowout, shutout, pretty little win. You know, good teams find a way to win during ugly games. And right now we're finding a way to win during some ugly games that's going to lead to better wins and getting us on the right track. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, that we're back, Rivermen are back, and they're ready to go, and they're a team to be reckoned with. You know, I'm not going to sit there and say all that, but I think they're on the right track. I thought they got better as the series kept going, you know, and like I said, Storm came out in that game 3, and they had a good effort, and they were executing well for the most part. Like I said, I thought Rivermen had a good effort in that 3rd game. There were lapses, sure, but I thought the effort was there better than in the first 2 games. It's just they were lacking in execution and being sloppy and turning the puck over. But, you know, luckily they executed when it mattered most and got the win when it mattered most. And that's what I care about. If you skate away with a W and 2 points, I'll take that all day, every day, even if it's ugly. Ugly or pretty, a win's a win. Like I said, I'm encouraged that we're still winning these games that when we're not at our best, and can definitely play better. So when we get to that point, when we're healthy and we start playing well together and rattling off more wins, you know, it just sets us up for more success in the future. So I'm excited for that and definitely looking forward to that. and we're going to need even better effort during the Evansville Thunderbolts coming up this weekend. We definitely got to play better against them than we did the Storm. Even though we won 2 or 3 games versus the Storm, we still need a better effort and definitely need to execute better when playing the Thunderbolts. They're a team that you really can't lay back on. This is an aggressive, talented team. They're a good team that believes in themselves, that are playing well together right now, and they're not afraid of anybody, especially the Rivermen. They will play anybody right now, and they are confident to get the win. And their play shows that. So we got to match that. They're going to get in our faces in Peoria. They are not going to let the Rivermen breathe for a second. And Rivermen need to be ready for that and ready to withstand that for 60 minutes and then find a way to counter it. If they can find a way to counter them being aggressive and meet their aggression, we got ourselves a great series ahead and a potential to win it. Realistically, I'm hoping to split the series with Thunderbolts. It's going to be a challenge. They're playing the best hockey right now. They just simply are. It was havoc, but Bolts just had a 7-game win streak snapped against Macon, and they went down 3-0 against Macon and came back and pushed it to a shootout. But Macon won the shootout for a 4-3 final. But Thunderbolts are still showing you they're playing good hockey even in an ugly game. 'Cause they didn't quit. They were down 3-0 on the road, found a way to come back, tie it up, and give themselves an opportunity to extend their win streak. So Rivermen can't be comfortable with anything when it comes to Thunderbolts. We get up on a 2-0 lead or something like that. Can't be like, all right, 2-0 lead. We can, take a breath. No, you cannot. That's when you need to bite down even harder and take it to them even more. Thunderbolts are not a team that you can take a period off on and expect things to work out okay. They got to be ready. They got to be ready for them. Like I said, it helps. I think that Rivermen are coming off back-to-back wins. I think that does boast well for our confidence and helps us prepare for these guys. But like I said, we got to be playing our A game against these guys if we expect to come away with a win. If we just go out there flat-footed and let them run over us, it's going to be an embarrassing weekend because like I said, they're not going to come out timid or feeling us out. They're going to come out looking to run us over from the moment that puck is dropped. And they're not going to stop until the last horn sounds. So we got to be in this game all the way, 60 minutes, meeting their aggression with ours and playing confidently and connecting on the passes that they need to and executing well. Yeah, that's all I got right now. Like I said, stoked that we got 2 or 3 wins over the Storm. Looking forward to the challenge that the Bolts are going to give us, and I hope Rivermen meet that challenge. Even if we lose, I hope we can look as good as the Bolts looked in their loss and make it a game and not be embarrassed or blown out in our own arena. So with that, I'll go ahead and wrap it up. I'll catch you at the next puck drop, and always keep it Rivermen style.